What's the deal, my people? Teflon to build on another Game of Thrones Season 8 video. And we have just witnessed an epic episode. And you know what we gotta do? Talk about it. I cannot wait to get into this video. I have so much to say. But before I do, if you can, please hit that thumbs up button. We're trying to get 500 likes before the 24-hour period so we can trigger the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new Game of Thrones video. We are almost 50,000 strong, people. Join the family and help me get there. Cheer! We're going to set this off with the Clegane Bowl. Now, a lot of fans have always thought that we would see Clegane Bowl. We have seen them fight each other in episode 1, but we knew that it had to come down to another head-up, a one-on-one fight with the Hound versus Brother. And I thought that this was one of the greatest one-on-one battles that they've ever done in all of Game of Thrones history. It was brutal. It was disgustingly beautiful, and I'm so glad that they paid this off, and they paid this off the right way. I really wish they would have did the same thing with the Night King and Jon Snow. Not as brutal and not to the death like this, but this was the way a head-up fight is supposed to look. Now, we've seen the Mountain, and I always thought that, hey, there's no way Sandor should be able to defeat the Mountain, no matter how much the fans want him to. He just should not have the strength and the ability to defeat him, and they use it because every time he stabbed him, every time he put his sword through him, he just could not kill him. This was definitely a Frankenstein monster type situation that he couldn't get him out of there, but he used whatever he could, and that was his brute strength to barrel through this man, push him through the wall, and they just both fell to their death. I think it's a fitting end for a great character, Sandor Clegane, that no way he was going to be able to beat his brother one-on-one, but this was the perfect way for them to end his life and the Mountain. Next up is Arya Stark. Now, from the beginning of Game of Thrones, we have seen Arya Stark as this little girl who always wanted to be a soldier, wanted to be a knight, and I think right now she finally got a true taste of what it's like from the other side, the other perspective, to be on the receiving end of a battle. Now, I think that is the reason why they showed it through Arya, all the things that were happening to the people in King's Landing. I love the fact that she was going there with the Hound, and the Hound told her, listen, this is what vengeance gets you. Vengeance gets you nothing but what made me me. And you do not want to be what I am. And if you do, you're going to die. I love the way they had that part in there first with Arya. And then I love the way that Arya now decided that, hey, maybe it's not so bad to be a lady. Maybe that's what I truly want to be right now. Maybe I don't want to be this warrior that I always thought that I wanted to be. But I love the fact that they showed her running through the streets of King's Landing, and you just seen the destruction on everybody. Everything was just burnt. Dany was not having it. She was burning everyone, and you see the Dothraki acting like the Dothraki acted where they came from. You seen guys grabbing up women, about to rape women, about just killing people senselessly just to kill them. I'm glad that she survived this battle. It was looking dicey. She did fall on the floor and pull a Jon Snow from the Battle of the Bastards. I thought that maybe she could have got stampeded to death, but thank God for this horse. Where this horse came from, I don't know, but I'm glad that it came up. But what we see here from Arya is that she had to survive for a reason, and the reason could be that she may be the one to take out Daenerys. Now, I just did a video on this talking about her being the Queen Slayer. Check that video out if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about. Next up is Jaime and Cersei Lannister. Now, Jaime versus Euron was a good fight. I liked the battle. He finally used his gold hand to his advantage, smacking this dude around with him. And I knew that they were not going to let Euron Greyjoy kill Jaime Lannister. Even though Euron said, I'm the man who killed Jaime Lannister, that is true. His injuries did cause his death, and he would have died from those injuries. But we knew Euron was going to be the one to take out Jaime. Now, what was shocking to me was the fact that Cersei died this episode. I really thought that they would have her survive until the final episode, but they did kill this episode. Now, there was no Valancourt prophecy fulfillment in this. Jaime Lannister did not kill his sister. A lot of people thought that Jaime was going back to King's Landing to kill his sister, but no, he went back there because he loves his sister. This is the woman he truly loved, and this is the woman who he wanted to die in her arms. And when there was no escape for them, no way out for them, they just held each other. He looked her in the face, said the same exact words that the Hound said to Arya, "Look at me," to try to calm her down. Eventually he did calm her down, and then they both died. Now, I did not like this death for Cersei. I thought she deserved something a little bit more epic, something maybe a little bit more brutal. She brutally killed a lot of people. I thought it would be something else for her to die, but I could understand why they did. It was very poetic of them dying holding each other, but it still doesn't feel like she suffered enough. It doesn't feel like she got the ending she deserved. It feels like she got the ending she wanted. You know, if she had to die, this is the way she would want to go out, and I don't think she deserved that. I think she deserved to go out the way someone else wanted her to go out. Next up is Varys. I think we all knew that Varys was going to die this episode. I didn't see any way out for him. He was so open and blatant about his treason. Like, usually, you know, you think of Varys, he's doing things very sneaky, he's not open, but he goes right up to Jon Snow, tell Jon Snow what's planned. He's talking right in Daenerys' own castle. I mean, it's pretty obvious what's going to happen to you when you're doing all these things, and it was not disappointing. We knew he was going to die by fire. Melisandre said he was going to die in this strange land. She already died in the strange land, so you knew that was going to happen. Varys went up there, he went like a G. It was Tyrion that turned him in, and I'm gonna get to Tyrion in a little bit. I think Tyrion was just doing that to save his own ass, but we will get to that in a little bit. And that's basically what happened to Varys. Why he would be not so sneaky and get caught like that is not really Varys. I really think he should have been more sneaky. He seemed like a more sneakier character, but for him to go out like this was very befitting. We knew it was going to happen. I really thought he would just been a little bit more crafty about his plans, but nope, he had a big mouth, and this is what happens when you have a big mouth. Next up is Tyrion, and Tyrion Lannister is going to have to die. He had no business setting his brother free. He had no business doing that, and I think he will die, and he will have to pay for that. But beyond that, I think Tyrion has been treasonous this whole time. They are trying to make you believe that Tyrion's doing the right thing all the time. He has Daenerys' best interest all the time. But I'm telling you, when it's all said and done, I see this coming a mile away, that Tyrion will get killed, will be executed for doing something wrong, or being exposed for what he did wrong. I think that the fact that he ratted on Varys was just for him to cover himself. I don't think he was trying to protect Daenerys. I think he was trying to protect himself. But the way they have it set up, Tyrion seeing all the body, the aftermath of the battle, it's setting up for Tyrion to be the person to talk to Jon Snow and try to get Jon Snow to take out Daenerys. I think that is what's going to happen. Last but not least is Daenerys, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Jon also. Now, I do not blame Daenerys at all for what she's done. Yes, she did go overboard. I'm not going to tell you that she didn't go overboard. She did. She went overboard. But Jon Snow could have prevented all this. All he had to do, he keeps saying that this is his queen and he loves his queen. And why don't you just marry your queen? Why don't you just bite the bullet and take one for the realm? Why don't you do that? But he's not willing to do that, and that's why I don't think Jon will ever be a great king, and I cannot see him ruling King's Landing. He does not know how to be politically motivated and do things for politics. Now, all he had to do was love this woman. That's all she kept saying. She just wanted to be loved. She had no love there. Her friend was killed, her best friend she had. All the people that she was with, all of her advisors she's always started out with, they're all dead. All she has left is that dragon, and that dragon does nothing but kill things, and that is what she knows. So Jon Snow had a chance to kind of prevent all this from happening. All he would have had to do is agree to marry her, and I'm shocked that marriage never even came up once. I've never even heard of them getting married. You hear about everybody else getting married. When she left Dario to come here to King's Landing, that's what Tyrion told her, that hey, the reason why you can't bring him is because you're going to have to marry someone from Westeros. But they don't even bring that up, not whatsoever. Now, getting to this battle, if you want to call it a battle, it was no battle, it was a slaughter. And it was exactly like it should have been from the beginning, because all Dany had to do, that dragon was just way too fast for those ballistas. There was no way they were going to hit that dragon when she was going all out, and she just cooked everything and everybody in her way. And you have to blame Cersei for being smug and trying to come out there and get her provoked and rile her up like this. It never had to go down like this. You never had to see this woman's anger be unleashed like this, but it was unleashed because Cersei had to kill her friend in her face, and she was not getting the love that she deserved. And she deserved a lot of love. She lost all of her dragons fighting the Great War. She lost a lot in her life. So I could understand kinda why she went full mad queen on these people. And I'm telling you that, not justifying everything she done. Yes, she killed a lot of innocent civilians, but that happens in war all the time. The Dothraki were acting like the Dothraki. This is what happens in war. The heroes are the bad guys in wars. It's all about what perspective you look at it from. You know, if you're on the winning end, then you look like you're the hero. But if you're on the people being slaughtered, then these people look like terrorists. And that's the way exactly it played out. It all depends on which side you're looking at it from. And we got to see it from both sides. But we mostly got to see it from the people side, who was taking the brunt force of Daenerys' anger. And man, she was mean and she was not playing. And I've never seen a dragon unleashed like that in any show and do that much destruction. But she sure did destroy King's Landing. And then when you see the wildfire things going off, now she didn't know there was wildfire down there. She didn't know that would happen. Although we can't really blame her for that, but the wildfire just made it worse. But what it's setting up, people, what I see that's going to happen is that it's just going to make her look like she's crazy. And we see the House of the Undying Vision coming on here, because that's not snow that was falling, that is definitely ash that was falling. And I don't even think that there's a kingdom for her to rule anymore. I think she just destroyed everything. What else is there for her there? I have no idea, but she is now the queen of ashes. She will rule over the ashes and the bones and everything else that is left there, because man, oh man, she put the whipping on him. Listen, sometimes when you mess with the dragon, you get the fire. And that's exactly what happened to everybody in King's Landing. But you let me know in the comment section what you think. Was she justified for doing what she did, or is she just crazy? Is she the mad queen? Let me know in the comment section. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.